Hey guys, this is Mark here from pixelfiendtech.com, and today we are going to be doing a review of the Meike, or at least I think that's how it's pronounced, battery grip for the Nikon D5000 series. Now by the 5000 series I mean the D5000, the D5100, D5200 and the newest D5300. So if you have any of those cameras, it should be compatible-ish, which I will explain later, with those cameras. Now I am using this with the D5200, so the things I'm speaking about may not kind of translate over to your camera if you have a different camera from that series, but I would expect that it will mostly be the same. Now first of all, I would like to point out that the only reason I bought this was because there is no Nikon option. Now Nikon only make these for their higher end cameras like the D4, etc. So sadly they do not make them for the lower end ones, and I would recommend whatever company you have, whether it's Sony, Canon, even places like Fuji, I would recommend getting the own brand battery grips. It's fine changing around for things like lenses, but I would say stick with the same battery grips just because they generally work a lot better. Now buying this, I knew that there was kind of a 50-50 chance whether this would work or not, simply due to the fact that Nikon cameras don't support battery grips when they don't support them, if that makes any sense. So the D5000 series doesn't support, they don't make battery grips for that, so sadly they don't really support them. So I found that out the hard way when I got it. So basically the first slot just works like your normal battery would, which is fine and everything, but the second slot, it does not recognize that, and it basically just acts as storage space for your second battery. I would also like to point out this does not come with that second battery, you have to buy that separately. So yeah, it does not double your battery life, it simply adds storage to kind of hold another battery in there. Now that is not the only feature of this, I will get on to speak about that in a bit, but I would just like to point that out now. So another huge downside to me is the build quality. If you compare the materials in the battery grip to the materials in the camera, it's unbelievably inferior. It's extremely light, flimsy, it wobbles about a bit, and it just doesn't feel that good in the hand. It should kind of withhold normal use, but really I'm not too happy with the build quality. Now another nice feature that this does have is the portrait mode. Now basically this adds a second shutter button, so instead of holding your camera like that, you can hold it like that, which is handy for taking other shots. It means instead of having to do that, you have a different shutter button, so you can always hold the camera, your hand upright when you're taking photos. I'll shove in some B-roll here to illustrate my point as my words are failing me. Now sadly, as this is not a fully compatible product, you do have to attach a cable between the camera and the battery grip, which for me is very disappointing. I don't like a cable hanging out the side of my camera, so I personally do not use this feature at all. I don't really think I would actually use that side button even if I did have the cable connected, so it seemed kind of pointless for me, but you never know. That might be a feature you would use, so if you do a lot of portrait shooting, then that may be a very handy feature for you. Now a great thing, I love this about it, is the fact, it's actually a very small thing, but I just wish everyone kind of thought like this. So to add this to your camera, you need to remove the battery door, obviously, to be able to fit the battery grip on. Now it actually houses a little slot in the arm that goes into the camera where you can hold your battery grip. Now this means if you want to switch between using it and not using it, you can do that extremely easily. I just think it's a great feature because without that I would have probably lost the door by now, which would be rather annoying. And I just think it's really nice that they added that. Again, not a very big feature, but it is one that I do really like. Now there are a few reasons why I decided not to return this. First of all, because I don't really mind the fact that it is just a storage space. I would probably be carrying that second battery around in my bag if I didn't have this, so I can just swap the two slots around when my first battery runs out, and I, as I said, don't really mind. Also, it wasn't really that expensive, especially compared to if you had a D4 or something. The Nikon battery grips for those would be much more expensive than this, though that does reflect over into the build quality. Also, there is a small chance that I will use it in portrait mode, so having the shutter button on the side is a nice feature, and I actually kind of like the bulk it adds. Now, when I took it off after using it for a while, I found that my bottom two fingers kind of felt like they were floating in nowhere. Now, I know I would get used to this feeling, but I personally like having the full side handle to hold on to. I think it gives me a better grip on the camera, and I just prefer using it that way. So personally, I would say really there's no point in buying this. It doesn't really work that well, it's poorly built, and it adds very few features. Now, if you're desperate for that second shutter button, or just for, as I said, the storage space, or even the way it feels in the hand, then fair enough, go ahead and get it. But if you're looking for a functional battery grip that will extend your battery life, then there's no point in getting this. And I'm really sorry to say this, but I don't think there are any other options. I think this is as good as it's going to get for these cameras. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, share, and why not subscribe to my channel for more content. If you've got any questions, why not leave them in the comment section below or email me at the address in the description. Thank you very much for watching. See ya.